The officiating pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call it, reared its ugly head again in South Philly last night during the Sixers game. What in the world are we going to do with officiating in sports? And why is it so bad? We're going to talk that today. It's Christmas Eve. Let's have some Christmas miracles in Philadelphia. And what Christmas present are you most thankful for in Philadelphia sports and in general as a kid? Lots of fun today. Maybe a special guest in a half hour. Guys, trending in the AM. We're live. 30 seconds.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 woo!
And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network, setting the trends for what sports talk should be. Guys, please hit that like button and subscribe button. Please smash those buttons as much as you can and share it out to one and to all. It is a beautiful, snowy Christmas Eve morning here in the Philadelphia region, guys, and we've got lots to talk about today, lots of tough topics and fun topics, and maybe even a special guest mixed in. Guys, please like, subscribe. I'm Phil Stiefel. You can find me on all social media platforms at Bearded Knowledge. And Merry Christmas, Judd. Merry Christmas Eve. Melakaliki Maka to all of you. Good morning to Duck. It is a beautiful snowy morning. Not really. I hate snowy mornings. I hate the snow. It does look nice outside, but I hate it. I hate the snow, guys. I don't know what I hate more, the snow or awful officiating. Guys, we got lots to talk about today. Obviously, continuing the conversation about officiating from yesterday, about the Eagles game and the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson ejection. I actually decided to watch a few minutes of Sixers basketball last night. And what do I see? Officiating issues rearing its ugly head again in the game with the initial ejection of Andre Drummond, with the followed-up ejection of Joel Embiid, with the follow-up technical on a dunk, on a basic dunk, just for dunking, guys. We have a serious officiating issue. We're going to get into that, okay? We're going to talk a lot about that today, and I don't know what the answer is to the problem there. We'll talk Eagles. We'll talk Kenny Pickett. We'll talk Jalen Hurts' injury. We'll continue that conversation, and it's Christmas Eve. So, of course, we got to – what Christmas miracle would you like to happen this upcoming year in Philadelphia sports? So we'll talk about that, and your favorite Christmas presents, sports-wise, and, of course, when you were a child, what were your favorite Christmas presents, favorite memories of Christmas morning? Like I said, maybe in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we might have a special guest join for 10 or 12 minutes to talk these exact topics. Duck says he hates snowy days. I hate the shovel. Well, before we move to this is the first real snowfall since we moved into this house. I hate snow. But my last house where we lived in for 7 years had a flat driveway. So I didn't have to shovel. We just, put the car in four-wheel drive, drove right out of it. This driveway, there's a little hill. We're going to see this morning if I got a shovel or not when we back out the driveway. It's not much. It's just a little quarter of an inch or so, but, we'll see. We'll see how getting out of the hill driveway is this morning. I can't stand Joel Embiid. Mitchie Poo diving right into the controversy from last night's Sixers game. Look, Joel Embiid should not have gotten ejected last night. Joel Embiid has to control his temper. Joel Embiid, it's a borderline whether it was an offensive or a defensive call. But the fact that referee was so quick and easy to trigger to first eject Andre Drummond and then had to make up for it, so had to eject Joel Embiid. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of feel like she triggered or pushed Joel Embiid a little hard to force a reaction out of him. Then, and was it Gurishan Yabusele that dunked and barely hung on the rim for 2 seconds? Instant technical. Like, she was atrocious last night. Atrocious last night. It was pretty bad. So, yeah, Joel Embiid's got to be smarter. Joel Embiid's got to be better. Just like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's got to be smarter and better. But We have an epidemic with officiating in sports, Mitch, and it's getting worse and worse every day, every game, whether we're talking football, basketball, or umpires in baseball. I don't know if we got a problem in hockey or not. I don't watch enough hockey to know. But let me tell you something. Nothing annoys me more than when the refs make the game about themselves. When I know refs' names, that's a problem. I don't need to know the refs. I don't need to know the records of the refs when certain teams are they're reffing those games or not. I don't need to know, that X players have more fouls called when certain refs are in a game than not. I don't want the refs are just supposed to be in the background. They're not supposed to be celebrity figures. Hell, even in like fake professional wrestling, I don't know 90% of the refs' names. You're not supposed to know about the refs. You're not. But it's a problem. It could be training is down for these refs. It could be the gambling aspect of things. It could be so many different things, agendas of so many kinds, narratives being sent from the office, scripts. There's so many things that could be involved. And I don't know what's going to cause change or cause the need for change, but something's got to change. I saw somebody tweet it out yesterday, and we'll get to the comments in a second here, and we'll dive into this. Someone said, football's $1 billion business, and basketball's $1 billion business too. It's time these leagues spend a little bit of that money to A, keep a closer eye on the refs and the gambling aspect, and B, start a officiating school where these guys got to pass to even have a chance to be in the big games or on the pro level. Like, there's something seriously wrong here that billion-dollar companies have this big of an issue. It's a problem. It's a major, major problem. Sean Smith, referee from, I know the ref was from the Eagles game that threw out Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, was from Detroit area, and is obviously a big Lions fan. I would believe more that he had money on the game than he was trying to help his Lions secure the 1 seed. Referees try to keep control of the game, but when you yourself are responsible for the lack of control, then you are the problem. Yeah, I mean, look at the Sixers game last night, how it played out. Okay? I mean, Andre Drummond literally ejected because Victor Wembanyama tripped and fell. And they put Andre Drummond back in the game. I get that. That doesn't make an excuse. That's not an answer to that officiating. And then the Joel Embiid, was it an offensive foul that he charged on Victor Wembanyama? I don't know. Wembanyama's feet were moving in that situation a little bit. It could have gone either way. But she was so easy and quick to trigger the first technical, and I think something was said there that, I mean, Joel Embiid's a fiery personality. But Joel Embiid, literally looked like he was ready to rip her head off last night. Some kind of egging on had to go. Something had to be said. It's a problem. It's the gambling aspect, not a maybe. Duck, and if this is the case, we've got a serious issue. If gambling is this heavily involved in officiating in sports, then I don't know what the answer. You can't eliminate gambling. Gambling's not going anywhere, right? It's not going away, the gambling aspect. So, you're going to have to start suspending a lot of referees, and in basketball, baseball, football, all of it. But then it's already bad, the officiating. You start suspending them all, and then you're going to have even worse. You're going to have replacement level officiating, which will be even worse. I don't know how you solve the officiating issue. Maybe even eliminating gambling. Even if you made gambling illegal across the country, all that's going to do is bring bookies back into the equation. I had a bookie before it was legalized. Everybody did. So I don't know how you solve, if gambling is the number one issue in sports with officiating, I don't know how you solve that problem big picture. Last time there was a major gambling issue with sports, Congress got involved. Yeah, but it didn't make the problem go away. If anything, it brought more light to it, and they just keep pushing it under the rug a little bit more. It's got to be the gambling. See, I think it's the gambling. I think it's training. I think it's the social media age. Look, that lady ref from last night, and look, I don't make it about women or men in this situation at all. But whatever her name is, I don't even want to say it. Like, she's probably getting blown up all over social media. Social media is part of the problem as well. She's an overnight instant star in a bad way, in a villain way, but still she is. There's that aspect of it as well, maybe. Then they call us crazy for questioning the integrity of the sport while we sit through 40 minutes of gambling ads during the fourth quarter. Look, yeah, I get that. And Friday, Mark Moscatelli will be on the show with me, and he's very passionate about this. About talking about how the sports leagues got in bed with gambling and that this problem was bound to happen from that. And we'll dive into it with Mark on Friday for sure. Plus, we got to get into his Hall of Fame ballot because he shared that out last night. Look, I don't know how like football, the NFL and NBA aren't going to stop taking that ad revenue. They'd be stupid to do that. And again, if you eliminate gambling in the country, bookies are just going to do it again, which that doesn't solve anything either. So I don't know how you solve this problem. It was a cluster bleep of giving the Sixers tech foul shots, letting them shoot it, and then taking the point and tech back. Look, it's crazy. And there's video from somebody on the sideline getting her going to Nick Nurse and saying, I effed up. My bad. Yeah, you effed up, my bad. Big time. Merry Christmas Eve, Uriah, if that's Uriah on the account today. Hope you are well this morning. I hope everybody has a fantastic Christmas. We're talking a very serious subject here with the officiating in sports, for sure. But I also want to keep it light, too, because it is Christmas Eve. Christmas is my favorite holiday. Even as a grown man, I still love the magic of Christmas, the positivity that most people have. Most people are in a great mood. And if you are struggling this holiday season, my DMs are always open for anybody that needs to talk. Just send me a message, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Just send me a message. And I would love to talk if you need somebody to talk to, if you need someone to listen. There's always someone there, guys. So let's keep it light, let's keep it fun, but also dive deep into this very, very tough subject here. Let's be honest. Do you really trust the upcoming Congress to address cheating? See what you did there? Jalen Hurts is a quitter, right? Isn't that what it is? See, I'll say it. You're afraid to say what Matty B says. I'm not afraid to say it. I just know that it's a joke. Any form of fair officiating for Philly sports is a Christmas miracle. That would be true. I think a Christmas miracle, Marshawn, and Merry Christmas to you as well. I think a Christmas miracle would be an NBA or NFL official suspending somebody or kicking them out of the league for gambling, admitting that there's a problem with officiating and the gambling aspect of it. I really, truly think social media is the root of a lot of issues in sports and in the world. Everybody wants their 15 minutes of social media fame. And then you get the hot Tui girl who cost people millions of dollars because of her 15 minutes of fame. I mean, that's really a big part of it for sure. NFL, NBA, hell, all sports organizations own part or all of at least one online gambling company. Look, they're literally in bed with these gambling companies. So obviously, but see, is being in bed with a gambling company, the NBA or NFL, airing these ads, why is that the reason that we have to question the integrity of referees or players, when they get caught gambling? Why do we blame the leagues for airing commercials for them making mistakes? There's rules that are in the book. These players and these refs that get caught or don't get caught, that's a choice by them. I'm a business owner. If there's a way for me to make money, I'm going to do it. To grow my business, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to give out the rules to my staff on said situation. So I'm not sure the leagues are at fault for taking ad revenue from gambling sites. But on the flip side, I don't know the counter to that. I don't know how you solve that. there are still more good officials than bad, but you just don't need a magnifying glass anymore because the proportion is getting worse. Yeah. And I really wish I knew who. I think it was maybe Scotty from DSM Media. Someone put it out there yesterday on Twitter, and it didn't pick up enough steam last night, that, these leagues are billion-dollar organizations. They need to train these refs better. They need to have them in the offseason working better and teaching them, how to stay in the background and do their job better. And look, it also, in the social media aspect, officiating is more under the microscope more than ever, not just because of the gambling, but because of social media, instant replay, on your phone, instant reaction on your phone. We can call these officials out quicker than ever before. We don't have to wait till the next morning and wake up to listen to Sports Talk Radio or ESPN Sports Center to see how bad it is, or hope that the news sites cover it. We see it in the instant reaction, the instant moment, and we critique it. Like, what was Joel Embiid's, an offensive foul or not? I don't know. But I was able to watch the replay 40 times on my phone and dissect it frame by frame. But yet we still don't have video evidence on the second foul on Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. But also on the officials are bad. We get that. But the players have to know that and be smarter. I saw somebody, I think it was Seth Joyner, saying that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson deserves blame for getting ejected. And I bet he would say the same thing that Joel Embiid deserves blame for getting ejected yesterday. Were the refs wrong? Probably, yes. Yes, in the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson situation, maybe in the Joel Embiid situation. But star players, big-time players, important players, have to know when they're on the edge of getting ejected, they got to be smarter. They got to be better. Now, the Sixers ended up winning last night despite Joel Embiid getting ejected. But he's got to be smarter. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he knows he's got one foul away from getting ejected. Well, he's got to tone it down a little bit. Got to. Did I see? I did. Yeah, Mitch. El Parcero JPP was part of the layoffs from PHL. Why? And I love El Parcero JP. He's one of my closer amigos I've made through this, this content game. Love the guy. He's a fantastic individual. Didn't deserve it. I would love to know what happened, and he hinted in his video. I felt so bad for him when he posted that video yesterday. Like, I already felt bad from to begin with through this scenario because he didn't deserve to get laid off so he can hire more overpriced, overpaid people that, they're not the alternative. They're not supposed to. They were supposed to be something different, an alternative. And they're just turning into just what the radio is anyway over there. And I feel bad for JP. I really, truly do. And watching that video, you could just see the hurt in him. So if I wanted a Christmas miracle or something, a Christmas present this year, it would be for JP to turn things around and get a job somewhere else with another media network because he deserves to be able to make a living doing this. He's put the time and effort in, and he deserves better than what he got from PHLY All City. Are we really expecting people that get whacked in the head in the heat of battle to show restraint? No, Nooms. That's not what I'm saying. He got hit in the face, punched, helmet ripped off. He got called for the foul. That's fine. It was a terrible call, terrible situation, totally handled wrong by that referee. But later in the game, when he got ejected, whether it was for taunting or trash talking, whether that's right or wrong, he's got to know better that, look, I'm on my last stretch here, okay? If I get one more foul called of this sort, I'm ejected, and my team's going to be hurt by my ejection. You see the stats. Before Chauncey Gardner-Johnson got ejected on Sunday, the Washington Commanders had 9 possessions, scored a total of 14 points on 9 possessions, 194 yards, and had 4 turnovers. After he was ejected in the third quarter, they had 4 possessions, the Commanders. They scored 21 points, 210 yards, and 1 turnover. Losing Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was a big deal. So Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is not at fault, but he does deserve a little bit of the blame, simple for the fact that He needs to just understand the situation, the scenario they're in, where without Jalen Hurts, this team, could lock up for a number one seed at that point or have a chance at it. You got to be smart. Joel Embiid gets the first technical last night in that game and knows that ref has a quick trigger finger, an itchy trigger. There was a VCP, an itchy trigger finger. Joel Embiid's got to know, I'm pissed. Go over to the sideline and kick a chair. Probably break his foot in the process, but, whatever. Like, you got to be smarter. You got to be better. You got to know when to tone it down. Yes, JP Parcero was part, and Renee Washington from the PHLY All City Group. All City, who has like networks in like 7-8 cities, laid off like 18 people. The Philadelphia chapter, PHLY, laid off Renee Washington and El Parcero. It was last week. Everybody addressed their thing, and JP, I know him as JP, you guys know him as Parcero, was pretty radio silent for 6-7 days, and last night dropped the video on Twitter, and I'm sure on his other social media accounts, and it just, Marshawn, if you've ever watched his content, he is the most positive, nice, outgoing person. And it was the most sad video in the world. Like, you could just see how much he put into that business and that brand, and to have it jerked. And he kind of hinted that there was something going on behind the scenes there. And I agree. He was already bumped off of mostly the Gargano show, which he was supposed to be the producer. And you could tell that Gargano never gave JP any chance to say anything on the show. He was moved around a lot. And they laid him off like minutes after he recorded their last union podcast too. So they let him do the work and then laid him off. It's a shame. They laid off Renee, who's been on this show, was one of their best. Renee and JP, the people that we don't that aren't household names were the best people on their channel, and they laid off 2 of them so they could afford to keep John Marks and the cuz happy over there and on the air. Not the guy Bill Matz that no-showed like 3 times on me, Marshawn, but yeah, they laid off the good people, and it's hard. Renee, though, has a big enough reputation from her college playing career and from the other networks she works on for college sports that she's already bounced back. But somebody like JP, this was his first chance at a full-time job, and they laid everybody off less than a week before Christmas. It's such a dirtbag move from an organization to fire people. Literally, we talked about this last week, the day after it happened. Laying people off right before Christmas is a scuzz bucket kind of move, Marshawn. I love Renee's work. She's funny, and she's fantastic. Fantastic. Her Phillies coverage, I'm not a big Union guy. I don't listen to their Union work, but her Phillies work was fantastic. I've even tuned into some of her college broadcasts of sporting events just to hear her work. She's so talented. She's fine. She'll work out just fine. More gambling suspicion. How lazy was the pass by Julian Champagne that Maxey stole for the left-hand slam? Maybe. Think about it. You know what? More gambling suspicion, Nooms. Did you see what was it? Was it Gershon Yabusele? They got flagged for on the slam dunk. He literally hung on the rim for 1 second. We've seen NBA players rip rims down, break basketball nets, and not get flagged for excessive dunking celebration. And Yabusele literally dunked barely, hung on the rim, and a technical foul was called. It's horseshit. It's suspicious. We want to give them another free throw over there. And it still didn't help because the Spurs still lost the game. Despite everything, the Sixers still found a way to win. It's hilarious. Bring JP's show to get him out there. Not to tell you what to do with your brand. Look, I've reached out to JP just on a personal level right now. JP, that was his first time, with a full-time gig in the sports media world. And he does in his video, Marshawn. I don't even know if you're on Twitter, Marshawn, or if you follow him on some social media account. But he did the video, and he said he doesn't know what his future brings or future holds in the sports media world. He's going to continue to produce content, but I don't know if he'll be, trying to find a network to work for another full-time job, go back to his own YouTube page, work with people like DSM Media or me. I don't know what the future holds for him. But I do know he needs to decompress here around the holidays. He was recently married earlier this year. So yeah, it's a tough spot for him. Wait, is Renee the woman that's always reading the comments on the watch along? Yeah. She's the only one over at PHLY that, like I say, Trending in the AM is the place where your opinions matter. You don't got to pay to have your opinions heard here. A lot of networks always, reads comments. Everybody else makes you pay to you have to tip to have your comment heard. Not here, not when Renee's working. But yeah, she's fantastic. She did Phillies broadcast and she did a Union podcast with JP on DSM when he did the Phillies Dog Days broadcast. Look, I was part of those early DSM days as well. And Scotty and Dylan are still doing a great job. I'm sure JP will most likely go back to doing things on his own for a change. But yeah, the Yabu Tech was cheeks. My son was it just didn't make sense. Oh, I didn't even know this, Dave. I wasn't paying attention to the line last night. It was a 5.5 point line. Sixers won by 5. The Yabu Selly technical is the difference between covering and not covering. So again, talk about suspicious officiating. When there are that many bad calls and a game ends just that close, there's a serious issue here. And again, I still don't know the answer. I don't know. I will take a Christmas miracle would be for one of you to tell me how you solve these issues, because I don't know how you solve these issues. I don't know how you stop or make people feel that there isn't something suspicious going on with officiating sports, whether it's gambling or whether it's a script that the league wants X team to win games or make it to a title game or win a championship. So call a game this way because this is what we want. And this is not just to say that I think the officials have it out for Philadelphia sports teams, because this is a problem across all leagues and all teams. The agenda that sports leagues have, and in theory, tell their refs to push. Like, I don't think the champion has been predetermined, but this is not WWE, but it makes me want to gamble less and less too. Like, I love to gamble. I love to bet on games. I've bet less football this year than ever before. I stick to my golf betting. January 7th, Tuesday night. Fairway to Heaven, Season 5 debut. Don't forget. You can't make it up. It's crazy. It's crazy. Feliz Navidad. I prefer to say Mele Kaliki Maka, okay, to the Core 12 family. K1, Merry Christmas to you. Your Christmas miracle, Ben. The Flyers winning the Cup. Well, that's not happening this year, okay, Ben? But maybe it happens next year or a couple of years from now. Christmas miracle for me would to have a sports game that doesn't get, affected by officials. I was doing clock and score at my son's game last night, and I missed the first 3 as I was writing in this book. That's the risk you take when you volunteer. Yeah, volunteering for sports. That's always funny. Do I have a long day at work today? No, I don't know. Marshawn, it's so tough owning a pizza shop on Christmas Eve because we used to do 11 to 6 on Christmas Eve. I don't make any of my employees. It's just my wife and I. I've given all my employees off today, and obviously tomorrow we're closed. But whenever I set a certain time to be done, it's either super slow, and I wish I would have set the time earlier, or it's super busy, and I don't get out of there at the time I want to get out of there at. So I don't know. I'm just going to wing it today. I've got DoorDash turning off at 5, but I can always extend that if I wanted to. So I don't know what we're going to do today. No clue. Today's either going to be one of those days where I have 8 orders in 6 hours and that's it, or I'm going to have 80 orders in 6 hours. There's no in between. So who knows? It's one of those tough things. And as a businessman, I hate to turn away money, and I don't have plans on Christmas Eve anymore. It's just my wife and I coming home. We have things to do tomorrow, but, no plans. So it doesn't matter if I have to stay late or not. I just hope for, and here's my rant of the day, so to speak. I just hope every customer I take care of today is kind and nice to me in return. Yesterday was an extremely busy day because normally the day before Christmas Eve is a huge day for us, no matter when it falls. First customer day, I get done the show, I put my shoes on, I head to work. Phone rings, and somebody's like, I need, it was like $200 worth of pizza. And I was by myself because no one was in yet. And I said 1 hour. Give me 1 hour for that $200 worth of pizza. I need it quicker than that. I forgot to order it, and lunch is at this time. I need it by this time. I'm like, ma'am, you just ordered $200 worth of pizza, and you're telling me that I have to get it done in a certain amount of time? It's not getting done in that period of time. And she literally gave me so much shit because I told her an hour. It was 12 of our big giant party pizzas. It was like something like 12 times, like 300 slices of pizza. And she wanted it in under 45 minutes because she messed up. Well, don't yell at me. While you're yelling at me, I could already be starting the pizzas. She got it in an hour. That was even a miracle. I have a global data warehouse deployment this morning. I'm blowing off steam before I do it. Does Fox's Pizza as a company feed the shelters on Christmas? I feed a lot of people. Okay, I take care of plenty of people in my community for sure. Duck knows what I'm talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah. What is your busiest day of the year in the pizza world? Top 3 busiest days in the pizza world, Ben. Super Bowl Sunday, especially when the Eagles play. Number 2, Halloween. Number 3, Valentine's Day. They're the 3 busiest days in the pizza business. People always, Halloween's a big one, but people always get confused on the Valentine's Day. But there's 2 reasons why Valentine's Day is a top 3 busy day. Reason 1 is because of heart-shaped pizzas. I capitalize just like everybody else on a Hallmark holiday. And 2, when you go out with your significant other, your wife, on Valentine's Day, and you got kids at home, you leave a 20 with the babysitter and say, buy pizza for dinner tonight. So that's why Valentine's Day is always such a big day. I'm still trying to figure out if Jalen was cleared to get back in the game and suspiciously pulled. We're not getting an honest answer. According to Nick Sirianni yesterday, Jose, he is still in concussion protocol. So that tells me he was not cleared and then pulled. I think maybe there was some confusion that Jalen thought he was cleared, and he wasn't cleared. And that's the thing. I try to be the MVP of my community, but I still can't make everybody happy. You know, and the amount of rudeness I face on a daily basis makes me lose faith in the world for sure. Literally getting yelled at because you forgot to order a massive order that you want a discount on, by the way, because you order big. And yelling at me because it's going to take me X amount of time. It's not even 11 o'clock. My staff wasn't in. It like literally put me in such a bad mood. And I had such a busy day yesterday but I started off in such a bad note. I was so grouchy all day yesterday just because somebody's mean. It's Christmas. Why can't everybody be nice, smile, happy? I also, one thing I'm big on is I have trying to normalize saying Merry Christmas again. It's not Happy Holidays. I celebrate Christmas. It's okay for me to say Merry Christmas to you, just so you know. Halloween's always a big one. Halloween's a killer, absolutely, and heart-shaped pizzas. You know how much fun they are. Why or who does that stuff on Christmas Eve? Mostly everyone, yeah. Everybody's miserable. Oh, thank you. This show, Ben, is all about you, all about the core, all about the people. Ask a question and let's talk. Any other specialty shapes for pizza? Stop. The people that ask for 4-leaf clover pizzas make me want to go crazy. So no. John was concussed and tried to go out there anyway, and some idiot called him a quitter. Yeah. Yeah, Duck. There's the Christmas spirit right there, right? You're making your dad. Thank you. You know, that's something I always try to do on a daily basis. Always. I don't know if I always do, but I try. What are your thoughts on the new Sixers arena being approved? Was this just a formality with the mayor, unions? Yeah, it was never not going to happen. I've covered my thoughts on that a lot. I will get right back to this because we got a special guest joining us here on Christmas Eve. So we'll get back to the comments in 1 second here. Joining me on the I Have No Sponsor hotline, Jim Chatchesko from Philly Press Box Radio. Merry Christmas, Jim.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, Phil. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, too. Jim, you sent me a message this morning, hoping to come on this morning for a quick 10 minutes. To promote your show this week, which is not tomorrow because You're a quitter. You didn't want to do a show on Christmas. Your show on Fox Radio is on Thursday. We'll get to the guest in 1 minute so you can promote that. The theme of the show so far, outside of Christmas Eve, has been about officiating in sports. Do you think that there's a problem between what happened in the Eagles game on Sunday, what happened last night in the Sixers game, but what's running rampant through all sports? Is there a problem?
It's definitely gotten worse over the last few years, no doubt about that. I don't know why. I don't know why they're having trouble finding good officials. I know the job is not easy. It's certainly a challenging role, keeping these big guys in line on the NBA court, getting calls right on the football field. It's not easy, granted, but for whatever reason, it has gotten worse over the last 3 or 4 years.
There's a lot of people in the chat saying that there's definitely some gambling aspect of it involved as well. I don't know if that's the whole problem, but do you feel like, I don't know if you've seen the documentary on Tim Donaghy, the NBA ref from years ago. There was a documentary on Netflix about it, and he was very open, saying that it is a rampant problem. It does go on, in all leagues across all sports. Do you think that the leagues are at fault for being in bed with these gambling sites and maybe promoting it too much, which kind of then gives like refs and players that little egg to gamble a little bit more when they shouldn't be?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, years ago, they were so adamant about distancing themselves from the whole gambling thing. Now, as you said, they're in bed with them. You see ads every single commercial break. There's a different sponsor, advertising. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. I don't know how much of a role that plays in things. I don't know if it is truly a factor or not, but it's definitely something you want to think about.
I saw a tweet yesterday during the Sixers game about what went on with Andre Drummond and Joel Embiid. And I forget who it was. And it basically went like this. These are multi-billion-dollar organizations, the NFL, the NBA, umpires with baseball. Shouldn't they be investing some of their money that they're making on these ad revenues from these gambling sites to maybe train these officials a little bit more, to, kind of push them in the right direction so we have less of these problems? Shouldn't they be investing some of that money in these people that get criticized nonstop online by us fans? We question the integrity of sports, etc.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we see what's happening now with so many problems. So they've got to address it and get these people better prepared to do their job.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously this week you've got a fantastic guest coming on Philly Press Box Radio Thursday night, not Wednesday night, because again, like I said, you're a quitter. I want you to announce it because I'm excited, because right here on STT Sports Network and on the Philly Press Box Radio channels, you're going to have who on as a guest?
The godfather of pro football, the godfather of Philly sports, Mr. Ray Didinger, making his 25th appearance on our show. So it's kind of a special one. As you know, we've been doing our show for 10 and a half years. And for whatever reason, Ray Didinger likes coming on our show. He doesn't need us, not one bit, but he comes on 2 or 3 times every year. So we're going to do something special with him this week, since it is his 25th visit to our little show. Always a good time with Ray Diddy.
I was trying to reach. I have his encyclopedia back there. I'm trying. I can't reach it right there. Ray Didinger is one of the best. What do you think Ray Didinger, if you ask him, I don't know if you've already pre-done the interview or not, what do you think Ray Didinger would say if you asked him about the situation with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on Sunday, where there's a big conversation, is he to blame or not? And while the first call was wrong against him for getting punched in the face and all, Seth Joyner's talking a lot on social media about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's got to learn to control his emotions a little bit better, knowing one more mistake gets him ejected in a game that he needs to play. What do you think Ray Didinger's opinion is going to be on that situation?
I didn't hear it, but I think I read that he did say it already on WIP Monday morning that, Chauncey was wrong. He's got to keep himself in the game because, right. It's a crucial game and they need him in there. We saw what happened after he left in the second half, Tristan McCollum getting burned a couple of times. So, Ray definitely hates that kind of stuff. So we will have him on live, by the way, live at 7 p.m. So we don't know what we're going to talk about specifically, but I will definitely talk about what's
because I think there's I know a lot of people are saying no, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is not to blame. I do get the theory that he needs to control the first personal foul when he gets hit in the face and his helmet's ripped off. That's not his fault. That was a bad call by that referee there. They should have been offsetting calls at a minimum, whatever. But Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, just like Joel Embiid last night in the game, he gets teed up. He can't go right back at the ref even harder without worrying about getting ejected. Superstars got to learn to throttle down in certain moments like that.
Yeah, just like Joel Embiid in last night's Sixers game. The call was questionable. We don't know, but he's got to keep himself in the game too. Sure, the ref may have gotten some of the blame for the quick ejection, the quick first technical, certainly. But Joel's got to stay in the game. They need him, obviously. They won without him, but they need him on the court whenever possible. Absolutely.
And Jim, it's obviously Christmas Eve. And, I love talking about Christmas. I'm a big Christmas person.
Yeah, me too.
Okay? It's my favorite holiday. I know it's crazy to say this even as a 44-year-old man. I still believe in the magic of Christmas. Okay? Do you have a special Christmas memory or a favorite Christmas tradition in the Chet household that you guys that you really hold near and dear to your heart?
I think back to when I was a kid, up until I think we were 12 or 13, till I was 12 or 13, we would go to my aunt's place. She lived less than a half mile from us in my little town of Mahanoy City, Pennsylvania, by the way, a little shout out to them. So we would go to my aunt and uncle's place, and a whole bunch of relatives would be there. And miraculously, Santa would show up early at around 8:30 or 9 o'clock on Christmas Eve and give everybody one or two presents, just as a little tease, knowing that there'd be more to come overnight when, he would come down the chimney. But, as kids, we would look forward to that every single year. And I still have fond memories about it. And I don't know why, but Santa looked a lot like my uncle.
I think I can say this. One of the things that annoys me the most about social media and phones and tablets in everybody's hands is that the magic of Christmas runs out on kids these days at such an early age. And one of my best friends, his son's 7, and he's like, I'm barely holding on to keeping him believing at 7 years old, and he only believes because he's scared he won't get that PS5 for Christmas this year, and that's about it. Like, I really feel bad for the youth of today that they can't hold on to that youthfulness and that excitement of Christmas longer anymore.
Absolutely. Hey, and I saw some of your other topics, your other little side topics. A great 2024 gift for us Philadelphia sports fans. How about that Matvei Mishkov? That was a pretty good gift this year. We didn't expect that this soon. Yeah. We got it. He's playing, pretty well, certainly, and a bright future for the Flyers, even though they've been up and down lately. Matvei Mishkov. A great little.
That actually might be the biggest present we got this year.
Yeah,
I mean, we've had a lot of good presents this year, but not great. That might actually be the top on the list of the best present, getting him a year earlier than we expected.
If I win a prize for that answer, just let me know. Send it my way.
It's in the mail. Okay.
Thank you.
It might be going to your. You might be. I think I might have had your aunt's address though, so you might have to go check there. For that one.
A Christmas miracle that we could all maybe hope for. How about the Sixers getting past the second round in a year that we don't expect it?
How about they get to the playoffs instead of the second round in a year we don't expect it?
That may take a miracle even this year, yes.
One final question real quick, then I'll let you out of here. Favorite Christmas? I'm putting you on the spot here because we didn't prepare this. This was like 10 minutes before the show that this interview came along. Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, I actually did the list on our show last year.
Okay.
And first of all, after years of denying it, I said Die Hard, yes, is a Christmas movie.
Absolutely.
I put that number 2 on my list, but number 1, Elf. I love the movie Elf. Will Ferrell. I know some people don't.
I used to hate it. It is growing on me. I'm just not a Will Ferrell fan. Yeah. I think Will Ferrell might be the most overrated comedic actor of all time. Yes, I said that live on the air. I can't stand Will Ferrell, but whatever. I know everybody gets annoyed with it. I love A Christmas Story, and I love A Charlie Brown's Christmas. Charlie Brown's Christmas, because again, that goes to the.
Not a movie. That's not a movie, though, Phil.
It's a tradition to watch something like that.
Okay.
Because it pushes the narrative of the miracle of Christmas all the time. And anything like that, I love it. But
I'm with you on that, though. I do love the TV show, the cartoon Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas, which is only on Apple TV Plus this year, I believe. Unfortunately, for the second year in a row.
I guess I'm not getting a Christmas miracle this year. Then
I also love How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original cartoon from the.
You missed it. I don't know if you saw it yesterday. I had a big light up Grinch sweatshirt on yesterday.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I got my Christmas crafts shirt on today because, as you know, I like a little Christmas crafting.
Yeah. What's your go-to Christmas beer?
My go-to
style of beer for Christmas.
I'm a fan of Sam Adams Winter Lager. That's a good one.
Okay.
Another one from Sam Adams, by the way, they're Holiday White. Okay, it's a white ale. I love those, nice smooth wheat beers, and that's definitely.
Let me tell you something. That I don't know if you know the story of that beer.
I do not.
But it used to be called White Christmas, that beer. And about 10, 12 years ago, they came out with White Christmas. It was a limited edition release. And I would go to the brewery or the beer store by my house, and I'd buy every case they had because it was amazing. But they came under fire for calling a beer Christmas. So they changed the name, and they tweaked the recipe a little bit. It's still a very good beer, but they tweaked the recipe a little bit so it was different. And that's what you get now. So it's still a great beer, and I love it. But it's just slightly different, and the story behind it annoys me massively because I still feel like, people are a little too sensitive. I'm allowed to say Merry Christmas if I want to.
Oh, hell yeah. And there's a lot of beers out there that simply go by the name Christmas Ale. I just had one last week.
They changed the name because of fire for calling it Christmas.
People are nuts, Phil.
Yeah, they are. Chet, I want to say Merry Christmas to you. Thank you very much for everything you do and your fantastic shows. Again, guys, Thursday, not Wednesday, 7 p.m. live right here on this channel. The Godfather, Ray Dinger, will be joining Chet and Bill. Chet, Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Merry Christmas, Phil. Take care.
Have a great one. That was Chet, guys. I got lots of comments to get back to here and get back into the game here. But again, guys, make sure you're liking and subscribing to this channel because let me tell you something. Ray Dinger will be live on this channel Thursday night, 7 p.m. You're not going to want to miss it. Yes, that was a completely random guest last second right there. Matty B is concussed with that comment. Yeah, that's right. We'll get to this, Ben, in a bit about your Sixers arena. I'll get back onto that. Yeah, maybe. That might happen. Bonus content. Yeah, that's right. Damn straight. What's up? Merry Christmas, Stevie Fuentes. Hope you are well. I hope you have a great Christmas. We Americans are some of the most corruptible individuals on the planet. I don't disagree there. All they did by investing in the online gambling was confirm they are in bed with the mob, just not the mob. Yeah, maybe. I doubt he appreciates the Diddy appellation these days. What? My best man runs a lot of the NEC, and Ray spoke there. Dude is a real as absolutely. I love Ray Dinger, one of the best of all time. My son figured it out at 4. Oh, Christmas, Santa Claus. Okay, I know what you're getting at there. It's a shame. It's a shame the world we live in. The magic of Christmas. I still believed when I was like 17. Yeah, I'm just kidding with that. McCain, DeJean, Mitchell, Michkov, all presents. Absolutely agree. Getting Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell the same Christmas, that is the same year. That is a Christmas miracle for sure. But Matvey Michkov coming over in 2024 instead of 2026 might be the best Christmas present. And yes, guys, please, wherever you're watching, whoever's watching, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. The race to 500 subscribers is on. We are 180 away at the start of the show. I don't know if we gained any more subscribers yet this show, but please, yes, absolutely. It's a Wonderful Life is my favorite Christmas movie. Honestly, I don't think I've watched it enough times. It's a good movie for sure, though. I'd say Saquon. We kind of missed Saquon on the Nooms comment up there. Saquon coming to Philly is a pretty amazing Christmas present for sure. I like Will Ferrell, but will never understand the Ron Burgundy shit. Will Ferrell's got a couple really funny movies, Ron Burgundy, whatnot, Talladega Nights. But I feel Will Ferrell is the most overrated comedic actor of all time. No doubt in my mind. Get out all the negative vibes yesterday in airing of the grievances, but I'm back, baby. Positive Rick. Positive Rick's back, baby. Merry Christmas, Rick. Hazy IPAs. I love my hazy IPAs. White Christmas, wasn't that a Belgian white? It was. I believe it was. They tweaked it. They got rid of it, and they came out with the Holiday Ale instead because they got in trouble for calling a beer White Christmas. And annoy me, that White Christmas beer was my favorite Christmas beer of all time. No, that's not there. If you don't like it, then don't buy it. Why F it up for exactly. People are miserable. We should all have a beer meetup. I would love to do that. Getting a Core 12 meetup in 2025 should be the number one goal of the Core 12. I don't know how we would pull that off. I don't even know how we would organize something like that. But having a Core 12 meetup somewhere in the Philadelphia area, maybe we'll do like a Core 12 Phillies tailgate one day in the summertime. springtime. We'll all go to a Phillies Sunday game. We'll hang out in the parking lot, drink some beers. It would be a lot of fun. I'll have a Bazoon Hoop Christmas. I love it. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, my man. Sorry to hear that, Steve. I hope you feel well. Everybody make sure you wash your hands, please. And take care of yourself. Cooper DeJean equals Brian Chalkins. Huge Will Ferrell fan right here. Why? He's done far too many bad movies that don't make up for his good movies, or that cancel out his good movies. Merry Christmas, though, Rick, for sure. Will Ferrell is greater than Chevy Chase. Got to think about this one here, K1. I got to dive deep into the brain. I don't know. Is there anything Will Ferrell's done that's good enough to beat out Caddyshack? I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with that. I have a very stern dislike of Will Ferrell. Dark Secret, I've never heard of It's a Wonderful Life until my college roommate showed me. Yeah, it's not a popular in the households. Brewery bus tour. Do you think I can make the money to pay for a bus tour? I got COVID for my birthday is July. Yeah, look. Yeah, feel better, my man, guys. Everybody be careful. Between the cold weather and the warm weather and everybody together for the holidays, there's lots flying around right now. So everybody be safe, please. Agreed with Ferrari over Chevy. Will Ferrell over Chevy. Merry Christmas, Adam, to my man right there. Hope you are well as well. Chase is way overrated. Ferrell is maybe. Ferrell over Chevy. Yeah. That's right. Damn straight. Tucker Jenkins is greater than Brian Chalkins. Will Ferrell or Matty B. I'll take Will Ferrell over Matty B. Although Matty B's funny with his comments. They're just so funny sometimes. But yes, hopefully, Steve, you're well. Hope everybody's well this holiday season. We're all over the place. We were talking refs. Ben asked about the new Sixers stadium. I know a lot of you heard my opinions, but for Ben, I will tell, it's a money grab thing. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of the city. And I'm not a fan of the tax breaks they're getting for building it, and they're not putting enough of that back into the city itself. Not a fan, Ben, just so you know, on the Sixers arena situation. It's not something I'm thankful for this Christmas season, but it is what it is. You know what I'll be happy for, and a great Christmas present we'll get, hopefully, will be Andrew Painter in July, dominating Major League pitching. The Phillies made another fringe signing of Joe Ross yesterday, a kind of a guy that starts sometimes out of the pen kind of guy. And when he spoke about that signing, he talked about Andrew Painter. He will not pitch in spring training. Their goal is to get his innings started in July with the big club, saving his innings. I think that's smart, saving his innings. And if he's the real deal, it's like a trade deadline acquisition, getting Andrew Painter into the rotation in July. So that's something to look forward to Christmas present-wise in 2025 for sure. But Angels getting wings and bells and Suzu's pedals. How? Why? What? That one's over my head. Unpopular opinion, never found Caddyshack to be funny. It's just such a quotable movie. So if you just sit through the whole movie, it kind of does drag a bit, Rick. But it's such a quotable movie. There's more quotes. Well, we're waiting, from that movie that makes it so special because you can't go a day without quoting Caddyshack sometimes. That's a close one. But I'll take Will Ferrell over Ben Simmons any day. He does work harder at his job than Ben Simmons does, for sure. I don't know what's going on in the comments there with that between you and Duck there. It's all way past my pay level at this point. But guys, it is Christmas Eve. And there's lots going on. There's only 2 more shows after today this year. Because obviously I'm taking next week off to go on a cruise. There'll be some pre-recorded content that I'll put up from the ship throughout the week. But there's only 2 more shows this year. Thursday and Friday. Deebs, Mr. Crockpot will be on Thursday. And Mark Moscatelli will be on with us on Friday. Just so you guys know. So guys, please hit that like button and subscribe button. I want to talk about Christmas. Give me your Christmas traditions. Give me your Christmas miracles. Give me your Christmas thoughts. And stuff like that. I love Christmas. And yes, some people are grumpy and miserable around the holidays, like that customer yesterday. But I still believe the good in people comes out around the Christmas season. So give me examples of that. Chevy Chase or Tobias Harris. Give me Tobias Harris, maybe. Old School was a hilarious movie, but Will Ferrell wasn't the star of the movie. He might have shined in the movie a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it was hilarious. But I don't think it was hilarious just because of Will Ferrell. Tice Clay. Oh, Jack and Jill went up a hill, each with $1.25. Little Miss Mutt. Never mind. I know all the nursery rhymes on Andrew Dice Clay Duck. Chevy is supposed to be a man. Yeah, I've heard that actually many of times. Back to School was a funnier movie than Old School. 1,000% true. I get no respect around here. Don't forget about my holiday. Hey, happy Hanukkah to you as well. I just hate, Mitch, the people that say I'm not allowed to say Merry Christmas because they don't celebrate it. You know what? If you should say Happy Hanukkah if that's what you celebrate, and I'll say Merry Christmas. That's just the way it is, in my opinion. But yeah, Happy Hanukkah to you, and I hope you celebrate it, and I hope you enjoy it. And instead of one day of presents, you get 8 crazy nights. So great. Rodney was a legend. He was. Rodney stand-up was a legend. The Dice Man. Matt Rife sold out a stadium. Andrew Dice Clay, he sold out a Burger King, table of 6 the other day. I love Andrew Dice Clay. Semi-Pro was terrible. Daddy's Home was terrible. I'd rather not watch either of those movies, ever, just so you know. Terrible movies. Terribly not funny at all, just so you know. And those are kinds of movies that make me think Will Ferrell was overrated. Because for every funny movie he's done 5 awful movies for every one good. The Festival of Lights, instead of one day of presents, we have 8 crazy. I was trying to get the words out of the song, just couldn't do it. I love the Saturday Night Live midweek Christmas compilation episode they do every year with all the great Christmas skits from the years past. Was watching it last night after the Sixers game. Love it. And they always show the original first performance of the Hanukkah song from Adam Sandler. I love it. Whereas do enjoy Back to School a lot. Huge Dangerfield fan. It's hilarious, but Old School way funnier. I don't know about that. I don't know. Paul Newman is half Jewish. Cody Hawn is half too. Put them together. What a fine looking Jew. That's right. And who was a quarter Jewish? Not too shabby. Rodney, my wife said she gave me the best years of her life. My worry is now about what's to come. I love it. I love it. Talladega Nights is one of his good ones. Talladega Nights, and I do like Ron Burgundy. I think it's very funny. They're 2 very good Will Ferrell movies. Elf is growing on me as I watch it more every Christmas season. But for the most part, Will Ferrell stinks. Will Ferrell stinks. I want to bring up something Chet said. Is Charlie Brown Christmas not a movie? Not considered a movie? And why? I'm not sure. I know it's a short little 30-minute thing, but I consider a Charlie Brown Christmas special a movie, a Christmas movie. Like the little Frosty the Snowman, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, all those old school things from the 50s, 60s, 70s, I consider them movies. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. If you're not first, you're last. Absolutely. 100%. Will Ferrell cameo in Wedding Crashers is an all-timer. I think that kind of that annoyed me. Step Brothers and putting the balls on the drums. Look, I honestly think Step Brothers is overrated. I do. Step Brothers, this might be the end of me. I might get canceled this Christmas. Step Brothers, overrated. Yes, I said it. Morton Downey Jr. and his urn full of cigarette butts, chain smoking his way through every episode. Man. Charlie Brown Christmas isn't even 35 minutes. It's 20. It's still a Christmas movie to me. It's part of the Christmas must-watch list. Obviously, according to Chet, it's on Apple TV. I'm sure I could find it online somewhere. They're movies to me. They're Christmas movies. It's my childhood. I loved them as kids. No, they are movies. They are movies. They are TV specials like the ones that about don't use drugs. they're made by Dare. Step Brothers is an all-time comedy classic. It's an all-time overrated comedy classic. I'm going to piss everybody off with it. I hate it. I think it's so overrated. This is turning to Phil's airing of grievances part 2. It is. It is. A Christmas Story is my favorite Christmas movie, hands down. Drove all the way to Cleveland to tour the house. You know what? I go in and out of phases on A Christmas Story. I used to love it. Then my wife hates it, and she kind of turned me into hating it. But now I force her to watch some of it every year because why would you hate it? It's such a classic Christmas movie. It might be the best Christmas movie of all time. It really might be. It really might be. Step Brothers is a great movie, but your opinion matters, no matter how wrong. That's why I always say the title of this show, or the tagline is, where your opinions matter. Whether they're good opinions or not, or whether I agree with them or not, doesn't matter. It still matters. My opinion is that Step Brothers is overrated. That is what it is. Did you ever watch the SpongeBob SquarePants Christmas? No, I have not. I don't think I've watched more than 3 minutes of SpongeBob combined in my life. Yeah, fine mixer. The fact that it's played 24 hours on TNT tells you all you need to know about it. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why people start to hate that movie, because it did get over. And we didn't need the sequel, decades later. The sequel wasn't bad, but it wasn't necessary. I almost feel like the sequel kind of ruined it, maybe, to me a little bit too, but it means you have to watch 24 hours of it to make you feel something. Is that what it is? Well, you know what? I'll be watching it at some point, just so you know. Here's something to bring up Christmas-wise here on Christmas Eve. And I'll get you, Rick, in a second, because I agree. We got NBA is Christmas is NBA. There's 5-6 games. Sixers play on Christmas Day, I believe at 2. But the NFL is venturing into Christmas. Are you okay? Would you rather watch football on Christmas than basketball? Do you care about sports on Christmas? Because me personally, I don't want the Sixers played on Christmas. I don't want to watch sports on Christmas. Spend time with family. This year I'm going to be packing and cleaning. Christmas to me is not about sports in general. So people are offended or upset that football's played on Christmas. I don't care. I'll probably watch more football on Christmas than I will basketball. Honestly, it'll be on in the background. How do we feel about football invading basketball's day of Christmas? Unpopular opinion, I don't think so. I agree with you 1,000%. South Park was kind of funny when it first came out. It's kind of edgy, which to me, they did their first movie, and I think it went downhill. That movie was so awful. I don't think I've watched 5 minutes of South Park since that first movie came out all those years ago. Home Alone, I think Home Alone is one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time. For sure, it's in my top 3. Christmas Vacation. I'll take Home Alone over Christmas Vacation. It's by a hair. But Christmas Vacation is great. I would say Christmas Story, Home Alone, Christmas Vacation. They're probably the top 3 right there in that order. I started bringing a Philly classic in Cold Case. Nothing better than a show that references the Eric Bruntlett double play and has a yeah. I've never actually watched Cold Case before. Again, your opinion matters, no matter how wrong you are. Exactly. Exactly. Yes, I did. And I'm not watching NFL on Christmas on Netflix. I mean, I might. I don't know. I might. 320. That means we gained 6 subscribers yesterday in show. We gained 0 subscribers during today's show. Where's the Christmas spirit, people? Where's the Christmas miracle? The Christmas miracle of getting to 500 subscribers ain't happening by the end of the year. I've lost that battle. I'm still happy we got to 320 in such a short period of time. But the Christmas miracle obviously is not happening. And you guys all are getting coal in the Core 12 stocking, just so you know. 100% of the time, I'd rather watch football over basketball. Agreed, especially in this day and age. And the way the basketball is played, yeah, I might put on the Sixers game in the background while I'm working around the house on Christmas. But outside of that, I'll be watching football. My wife is Swiss, and she loves Cold Case. Every time that episode is on, I remember. Yeah, I see. Basketball is unwatchable anymore there. I said, it is. I mean, Victor Wembanyama after the game saying, I didn't flop. I tripped. whatever. Man, basketball is unwatchable. It really is. And it's a shame because I do love basketball. It's funny, my life story with basketball is kind of very confusing. Because I wasn't ever a huge basketball fan. Basketball was number 4 on my big board growing up. But then I realized my best sport, playing-wise, was basketball. So I kind of got into the game a little bit more as I was good at it. Playing in parks and pickup games in high school, college. You know, I learned the game, so I appreciate it more. But now the game's devolved so bad. It's such an awful product. I do like sport. I like it on the background. But I don't want my teams playing on Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, any holiday. It's on in the background. It's there. Have a little chat about it. But I don't want to watch and be invested emotionally in a sport on my team on a holiday because it's not about that. NBA is a bad product anymore. It is, for sure. We bitch about NFL refs, but NBA officiating is downright. It's got to be. You can't tell me. Came on, we were talking about it earlier. All those technicals given out last night against the Sixers. It was a 5.5-point line, and the Sixers won by 5. Go figure. I've only watched Sixers games this year, maybe 10 minutes of other games. I don't know if I've watched 10 minutes of NBA games outside of Sixers. I'll be watching Netflix and the NFL games this year. Yeah, see, I like that. I agree. I agree, Came on, the NBA officiating has ruined the product. It's not just the NBA officiating ruined the product. NBA players are ruining the product just as much themselves as well. And if NBA and NFL are becoming very difficult to stomach more than 5 minutes of, yeah, I agree. That's fair. I haven't watched a Sixers game yet this year. I like football better. Last night was the first time I actually sat down and put a long stretch of Sixers basketball on. If you're rolling your eyes more than once every 3 games, it's an ass product. Yeah. NBA is just generally a bad product. They would have gone bankrupt if it wasn't for gambling. I don't know if they would have gone bankrupt, but gambling has definitely made the sport different, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, Steve, this is something right here. Let's hope they fix their buffering issues, not just for Wednesday night, but for when Raw moves to them in the new year as well. Let's hope they figured out how to handle live programming on Netflix because it's a problem for sure. It is absolutely a problem for sure. No doubt about it. You picked a great game to watch, though. I only turned on the game last night because when I got home from work, I recorded my Eagles check down for the Eagles Pinball Podcast Network. Then I go upstairs, I poured myself my nightly little finger or two of bourbon, and I sat down on the couch and I turned the TV on. I'm paging through Twitter, and I see all about these ejections, so I instantly went to the game. So social media turned me on to the game. Really like the Ross signing by the Phillies, and the Luzardo move makes for a good fifth starter. They're not home run moves, Rick, and we still got the same lame offense. But yeah, my most exciting thing that's happened with the Phillies this offseason is that they're being honest with what their plan is with Andrew Painter yesterday, that Andrew Painter will not pitch for the big club till at least July. He's not going to throw to live hitters in spring training. He's going to throw, but not to hitters or in games, in spring training. And he won't start with the club. They're going to ease him along and save his innings for the end of the year. And I love that. Yeah, when I say a finger, that it's like this is a wine glass to me. Filling this up is one glass of wine. I do pint glasses of wine sometimes. My fingers are a little heavier than pores are a little heavier than everybody else. Just so you know. But I did only have one last night. Just that one was 64 ounces, in size. Look, I like my bourbon at night. Netflix will lose so many subs if those games don't broadcast properly. Look, I don't even know if I'm excited for Squid Games 2. Squid Games was something. It was a COVID sensation. I don't know if I need a second one of it. I really don't. Ross had a nice rest off and had a good year last year, using him right and can stabilize an out-of-control game. Yeah, he's going to be a long guy. 10 starts, 15 out of the pen. His splits, he's either really good starting or really good out of the pen. I forget which one it is, but it's a strong signing. It's a good signing. My uncle runs a semi-pro wrestling league called Dog. It's a fun event for family of all ages. Check them out. That's cool. Can he get me involved in a wrestling event? I'd like to do a little refereeing or announcing, or just do a running. I can't take too many bumps with my old body, but I'd love to get into that. Was Mike Lorio in that league? What? I don't know. Phil, what's your go-to bourbon? Woodford's great. I'm a big Jack Daniels guy. Basically for the one simple reason it's cheap, and I do have a drink almost like I feel like I'm a Scotch and I'm a bourbon guy, and I drink more bourbon because there's better cheap bourbons than there is cheap Scotches. And when I buy a nice expensive bottle, I have to like sip it and take my time drinking it, and I'm not going to buy an $80 bottle of something and drink it in 3 or 4 days. I'm going to let it stretch for a month or so. And if I want to drink every night, I'm going to drink Jack. Gentleman Jack's a little bit better. Single malt barrel a little bit better than that. But a regular Jack Daniels on the rocks is good for me because it's cheap. I could buy a big giant jug of it for $45, and that's just the way I do it. But I've tried a lot of different bourbons, and I like them. I all different kinds of them. Merry Christmas, Mr. O'Rourke, to you as well. I hope you bought those girls of yours some nice presents this year. You got some giant fingers if a finger of bourbon is 64 ounces. I do fat finger things a lot. I forgot. That's what she said. Yeah. That's what she said. It's a Christmas miracle. It's the first that's what she said joke. Hey, could definitely get you involved. I don't know if I really have time for anything like that. I would love to. My buddy was working with Right Coast Pro for a while before they shut down. New definition of fat finger. I've just always wanted to get into a wrestling ring and just like get in the face and taunt somebody, and I don't know, be a running referee or something like that for an event. Or I would love to announce wrestling. We got Pagans in the chat. Pagans. Man. Yeah, everybody's welcome to their opinion, right? Not really. My go-to Scotch is James Buchanan. The cheaper version, the 12-year, is good. The 18-year James Buchanan is fantastic, but it's like $80 a bottle. Then that's my thing. Like, James Buchanan, 18-year, I'm not buying an $80 bottle regularly. And that's why I stick to Jack Daniels. I find Johnny Walker extremely overrated. I find Johnny Walker Blue massively overrated, because you're going to drop $200 some on a bottle that's not that good, just so you know. Chavas Regal is some good stuff. It's good. It's just not my go-to at all. But yeah, me, I'm a cheap liquor kind of guy. I like my Jack. There's a big giant jug of Paisano on my fridge. I don't buy expensive wine. I buy a giant jug of table wine for $20. That's it. Like, I'm good with the cheap stuff. That's just me. We talked about this yesterday a little bit. I don't know. Right now, I've been drinking a lot of Workhorse out of King of Prussia. They've been my go-to IPA guys. I'm a big Deschutes Brewery fan. My favorite brewery is not in business anymore. That's the Boxcar Brewing in Westchester. They were always my favorite place to go and get beer from. Yeah, right now it's wintertime. I'm not even drinking much beer because, stouts. Two Stones Brewery, they make great beers. Their Up and Away, or Up and Out, is a great IPA. Their Russian Stout is fantastic. So I guess right now I would say IPA and brewery in general, Two Stones would be my go-to. Obviously, their Delco Lager is a classic hit always. But I'm a big Two Stones, and they also make great food at Two Stones as well. Love me some of that Tennessee honey. I don't like the Tennessee honey. It's not. I shouldn't say I don't like it. It's not my go-to. I'll drink it if it's there, but it's not my go-to at all. If you don't like Clerks, you're off my holiday list. Talking about the movie, where did Clerks come from? My dad had Chavez Regal ashtrays, really. I like Glenlivet French Oak Reserve. It's gotten expensive recently. I also like the 18. Try not to drink a Scotch that you get. Yeah. Look, it's weird. Basil Hayden is fantastic, for sure. Reasonable price as well, absolutely, for sure. I'm trying to think. I'm terrible with remembering names. I can't ever remember the names of the brands that I like the most. I don't know why. Like when I see it in the liquor store, like, oh, that's my favorite right there. But I'm really terrible at the ones that I like the best. I'm trying to think here of one specific ones, or a couple specific ones that I like a lot. Basil Hayden's, like I said, pretty solid for the price. Woodford is obviously good for the price as well. Elijah Craig. I'm a big Elijah Craig fan. A 1792 single barrel is a very good one for sure. Knob Creek's okay. Not my favorite either. Phil, I tried to trip you up and lost out. Look, you're not going to get me. You're not going to get me. It's Christmas. Why are you trying to get me on Christmas? Guys, we're final 10, 12 minutes of the show today. It is Christmas, okay? It's snowing out. I love Christmas and the miracle. Yes, my shirt says Bah Humbug, but I do love Christmas. And I have so many fond memories of Christmas morning as a kid, waking up, going to the basement to open Christmas presents, getting excited. Ooh, crayons. Yeah, we'll see if any of my brothers were listening right now. Doubtful, but maybe. I just miss the miracles of Christmas. I still remember my favorite time, the year we got our first Nintendo. It was like 91. We sat there and played Mario all morning long till we were told you got to put it away because we got to go to Grandma's house. I just love Christmas, guys. And I do. I love to sit around the Christmas tree and just enjoy it. I could try to trip you up right up until midnight. Gotcha. It is Christmas Eve. It's not Christmas Day yet. What's your thoughts on Conor McGregor Irish whiskey? I haven't tried it. To me, it just sounds like it's probably overrated and overpriced because he put his name on it. That's just my thought. Maybe someone could tell me it's good, but for some reason, it just sounds to me like it's probably overrated and overhyped. Has anyone tried Old Grandpappy? No, never tried it. No, I have not. Duck Hunt. If you didn't have a brother that would cheat or a sister that would cheat on Duck Hunt by putting the gun right up to the TV screen, then you didn't live as a kid. Nothing harkens back to the savior like Nintendo. Look, I'm old enough to have played on an original Nintendo or an original Atari. But Nintendo, when we got our first Nintendo, we always got one big family Christmas present every year. And I remember the Nintendo coming into our household. You know, we had a pool table in our basement, and there was always one present from Santa that was for everybody. It had everybody's name on it. And the year we got that Nintendo, that was a big deal. It was a very big deal. And it was an exciting time. Like I said, I think it was probably like around 91-ish that we got that Nintendo. Ever drink Poppy Van Winkle? No. I'm not even sure if I've heard of that one. Damn, yeah, I remember the Atari 2600. There was a football game on that Atari, and I don't know what it was, but there were so many glitches in it. I remember playing that football game, and we'd put up 200 points each in a football game. I remember the Superman game for the Atari as well. And you go into that little box. It was a phone booth to change from Clark Kent to Superman. By the way, we haven't addressed it yet on this show, what people think of the Superman trailer. We haven't addressed enough how much the new Superman costume is atrocious. I think the preview of it is great, but the Superman costume is god-awful, just so you know. Zelda is greater than Mario. Brian dropping the hot takes on Christmas Eve. Damn. No. Disagree. Zelda, overrated. I know we'll do battle on that one. I had Atari, then regular Nintendo. That's what I had as well. As well. The Superman looks like Cheeks. The costume looks like Cheeks. The movie, you could tell James Gunn is creating the new DC because it looks eerily similar to Guardians of the Galaxy and some of the other stuff he's done before. And I'm okay with that. You know, bringing in a refresh. I don't think you needed to. I think Henry Cavill was just perfectly fine as Superman. But it was cool, I guess. But that costume was god awful looking. Is it? I've never had it. Never at all. But you can send me a bottle if you'd like to. It is Christmas. Mattel Electronics handheld football was the ultimate dash game. Yes, that was. I remember that. I had one of those for sure. Tecmo Bowl ruled. Wrong, Rick. Tecmo Super Bowl, the follow-up, which was the first game you could save your season mid-season. Tecmo Super Bowl is the greatest sports game of all time and the second greatest video game of all time. Tecmo Bowl was cool because of Bo Jackson, but it wasn't as good as Tecmo Super Bowl, just so you know. Part 2, the second version of it. I have to make a lot of money to try it out. Yeah. Is it expensive? I wouldn't even have known. In fact, we're just going to Google it right now to see how much a Poppy Van Winkle is. Right now, P-O-P-P. Poppy's Bourbon. A 15-year bottle is $70 on this site. Here's a bottle of it for $879. Here's a bottle of it for $70. Here's a bottle of it, a 15-year bottle of it for $1,700. Damn. There's some expensive bottle of bourbons right there. Damn. NHL 91, great game. That's a fantastic game. Was that the first game where you could curve the puck when you would shoot it? I know one of the early hockey games, I figured out how to curve the puck when you would take a shot before my brother did. And he used to always yell at me that I was cheating because I knew how to do it and he didn't. Poppy Van Winkle 50. Damn. Insanity how expensive that Poppy is. Poppy, I hope he didn't get sloppy when he made it, for sure. But damn, that is crazy, guys. Crazy. All right, guys. There's 2 more shows after today. We're about to wrap this one up here. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah. Hey, the gatekeeper, not Replay Gang, the gatekeeper is here. Eric, Merry Christmas to you and your family, massively. I will stick with my 200 bottles of scotch. I'll stick to my $30 and $40 bottles most of the time and occasionally treat myself to the more expensive bottle, for sure. Just not $200 Blue Label Johnny Walker. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I do. I really, truly do. I hope everybody, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, or the pagan holidays, whatever, I hope you spend it with your family. I hope you're kind to people out there. I hope you do what you can do to enjoy this season. Because it's a special time of year always. You don't know how special the holidays are until they're not there anymore. So, yes, Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. We got an add-on. It's not just Go Birds and Bubbles Up this year. We got an extra add-on to this. In the comments, just say, Phil, yeah, dude, I love it. I love it, my man. The Oregon holidays. I don't even know what that means. Go Eagles. Yeah, I got an extra one we'll add to it at the end here. But please enjoy Christmas, guys. And we'll be back on Thursday with Mr. Crackpot himself, Deebs. And then Friday, Mark Moscatelli. We'll talk a lot of Eagles over Thursday and Friday. But then that's it for the year for me. Then we'll be back in January with another year of trending in the AM. So, guys, please say Merry Christmas to somebody. Say Happy Holidays to someone. Hold a door open for somebody today. Enjoy your time with your family. Please, I beg you, to enjoy it. So I'm going to say Go Birds. I'm going to say Merry Christmas. I'm going to say Melekaliki Maka. It's a thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. And don't forget to wish a happy heavenly birthday to the one and only Jimmy Buffett tomorrow, guys. Go Birds. Bubbles up. Merry Christmas.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, pop.